Letting an employee go is rarely easy. But for agency leaders, the emotional toll is often overshadowed by a specific, paralyzing dread, the threat of a lawsuit or a regulatory audit. This fear often leads to two distinct operational failures. Managers either retain toxic employees indefinitely or wait until personal frustration triggers a sudden emotional firing. Legally secure termination relies on an invisible framework constructed over the course of the employment relationship. Establishing this structure long before the final conversation creates a layer of protection against potential liability. Shifting the focus to a timeline of consistency replaces individual anxiety with a standardized, defensible business process. The termination timeline begins months in advance, often triggered by the very first documented performance issue. From that point forward, the agency must follow the specific language inside the employee's original agreement and established company policies. This diagram compares tracking history. An erratic top line represents a manager's subjective emotional memory. Below, a rigid path builds an objective timeline from documented warnings. Logging these prior incidents stacks the records together, forming an unbroken historical account of the employee's tenure. This meticulous record transforms a subjective firing into a defensible business decision. Eventually, the established timeline reaches the actual day of termination, a zone defined by rigid legal tripwires. This layout shows how standard operations clash with state labor laws. While most agencies run on a bi-weekly payroll cycle, many states mandate immediate final pay compliance the moment someone is let go. Delaying this final check or issuing an incorrect amount exposes an agency to immediate regulatory scrutiny, regardless of how well they handled previous performance issues. Depending on your industry, you must also navigate state-specific regulations regarding the termination of client relationships. Executing these strict compliance and final pay requirements officially locks in the legal protection carefully built during the initial documentation phase. Once the exit is complete, the agency faces two lingering threats: claims of discrimination and accusations of retaliation. These threats are neutralized when your pre-work documentation and execution compliance interlock to form a defensive perimeter around the agency. This perimeter acts as a filter, rejecting claims based on personal prejudice by showing the termination resulted from structured performance metrics. Consistently applying this exact same framework to every single employee exit continuously strengthens this defensive perimeter over the entire life of the agency. A thorough documented history and strict policy adherence neutralize potential liability, leaving no room for legal exploitation. An agency leader who implements this timeline operates with a different mindset. Every warning and review is simply another brick in a sturdy foundation. This operational confidence replaces the vacuum of managerial avoidance, allowing the office to maintain its momentum even through staffing changes. A secure termination process serves as a primary marker of agency maturity. This maturity allows leaders to protect their business operations while respecting the requirements of labor law. Relying on documentation and consistency provides a reliable path for parting ways with an employee under full legal protection.